Hello, my name is Kelvin Davis, and I want to thank you for joining me here today. And we are here speaking on how you can use credit to level up your business. And I'm just going to talk plainly, nothing too involved. But I want to start off with the things that you need to do to get your business in the best possible position for future funding, or what I like to term as becoming fundable, or we're going to talk about fundability. What you need to do to put yourself in the best position for lenders to consider you and approve applications, whether it's for a loan or a credit card application. So we're just going to talk about some simple things. In particular, we're going to talk about the business entity, whether you want to do an LLC or a corporation, the business structure, your business name, address, EIN, phone number, 411 listing, website, email, and any licenses that you may need. So like I say, straightforward information. And one of the things that I wanted to mention, I have a business consulting firm. We are Monolith Enterprises. And in working with new businesses, I ran into situations where the businesses were in need of funding, liquidity. And I always say that funding or money, cash flow, is more or less like the blood flow that we have in our bodies. If the blood flow in our bodies to our organs were to suddenly stop or cease to be, then we would cease to be. We couldn't maintain our lives. So it's the same thing with cash flow in your business. You absolutely need cash flowing through your business. So credit is another avenue that you can use during those times, those rough times, those slow times. You want to have credit available, money's available until you're able to do whatever marketing or advertising that you need to do, until whatever normal business efforts take off and you begin to make money through, of course, clients, contracts, and things of this nature, whether you're in a service business or selling products. So cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. So speaking to my clients, I would always recommend that they consider not only having a plan to generate income through selling or servicing, but also to have the credit available. So if one avenue slowed down, the other would always be there. If the credit was low, your clientele needs to be high. If your clientele is low, your credit needs to be high, so that you'll always balance. And that's kind of getting into the nature of what we mean by leveling up your business. You don't want your business lopsided. You want the thing to be level so that you'll have a smoother ride. And either of it, speaking to them as concerning fundability or business credit, the personal credit always plays a role as well. So, and we know the benefits of having good credit personally. We're entitled to better interest rates when it comes to mortgages or insurance. We're able to get different perks, whether it's money back on our credit cards or different reward points, things of that nature. But also, we're able to leverage that credit to allow us to get into business or stay in business. So what I want to talk about today, like I say, there are a couple of points that I want to make, and I'm going to make it plain. We're only going to be here 30 minutes, so I want to go through it. The first thing that I wanted to mention was the consideration of a business entity. If you're looking to go into business for yourself, you need to consider whether you want to do it as a corporation, whether it's C or an S corporation, or an LLC, or partnership. What type of structure do you want? What type of entity are you looking to configure your business under? We always recommend against doing it as a solopreneur. And by that, I mean to say you can be a one-man LLC or you can be a small corporation, but a solopreneur is a person who their business is not registered with the state. There is no protection between them and the business. And by them, I mean their personal assets. So if something were to go wrong, if someone were to come onto their business premises and get injured, get hurt, then not only would the business be liable, but they could actually attack your personal assets as well. So we want to put a layer of protection between us and anything that goes on with the business, between our personal and our business. We want to put a layer of protection between the two. So we always recommend that you choose an entity type, you choose a structure type, and the LLC, the limited liability company, is one entity type that we recommend that you consider. And the name says it all. You're limiting your liability with this type of company. So that puts a layer or wall of protection between you and your business. But also, of course, there are other benefits, tax benefits, different credits, deductions, and allowances that the IRS will allow for you through your business that they will not allow for you as an individual. So if you're doing business as an individual and write certain things off on your taxes, you have a greater likelihood of being audited if you're doing it as an individual versus being set up as a business. So that's one thing that we recommend. Now, I'm not a tax guy. You know, I don't do taxes. I'm not an ex-IRS worker. Those are just things that I've learned being in the business. So I absolutely recommend that you get information from your tax person, your tax professional, as concerning the tax benefits of having a business. But I can definitely tell you, having been in this arena for a while, that the LLC offers a layer of protection that you want. The corporation also allows or provides a layer of protection in between you and the business, or your personal assets in the business. So you definitely want to consider setting up an actual business structure or entity. Get away from being a solopreneur just out here doing business with no sort of protection. Now, setting up your business, you want to have a name. You want to come up with a name. And at the same time that you're coming up with a business name, we always recommend that you do a search to find out whether a domain name is available with the name that you want for your company. So that when you set up your website, and you absolutely need to set up a website, it's 2022, there are no legitimate businesses that I can think of, and probably that you can think of, that do not have a website. It's like having a Yellow Pages listing back in the 80s. You know, every legitimate business was in the Yellow Pages in some form or another, if they just had the one line of their name and phone number. So you absolutely want to have a website. Now, when you come up with your business name, you need to do a search to make sure that the domain name is available, because you don't want to have a business name or a domain name different from your business name. So those two things need to work in conjunction. When you do the name search and determine that your name, you have the domain available for your name, you want to reserve that name with the Secretary of State. And they're going to issue a certificate which says that you and only you have the right to use this name for a certain period of time. Usually it's up to a year. You have up to a year where you and only you can use this particular name. So you want to reserve your name with the Secretary of State and prepare or have the documents prepared to file your business with your Secretary of State. So there's a record and the world knows that you are up and running, that you are official, and that you are in business. Now, most secretaries of state, most states will have a form online that you can use to establish your business. And you can download it, fill it out, and send the form into the Secretary of State. Now, I'm in the business of setting up businesses, so my process is a little more involved and, of course, a little more professional. So I recommend that you consider the type of business that you want to go into, the um, strength or legitimacy that you want to create for your business. Now, of course, you can do the form and file with the Secretary of State and save the professional fees that a firm like mine or another would charge, but you have to consider the level of business that you're planning on conducting and govern yourself accordingly. So with that being said, once you have everything filed with the Secretary of State and you have those things back, now you want to talk with and I say talk with, you want to go to the IRS website, irs.gov, and get your EIN number, your employer identification number. Your EIN number, similar to your social security number, where your social security number is specific to you as an individual, the EIN is specific to your business as a particular entity, its own entity. And there is no other business that will have your business's EIN number. Now, one thing that you need to consider, and when you file your paperwork with the Secretary of State, you're going to have to put the business name, which we talked about. You're going to have to put the address, business address, and telephone number, and a contact name. What we recommend is that you make sure that the information that you're putting on that form is the information that's going to be your information for at least a year or more. You don't want to just put an address, telephone number, information on there that's only going to be good for a month or so. Because when you file your information with the IRS, and we're going to talk about getting a DUNS number and opening up a bank account, things of that nature, you don't want to have to go back and change addresses and names and phone numbers and things of this nature, after a couple of months because you've moved or you've changed your number or things of this nature. So you want to make sure that everything is set and what it's going to be for, like I say, a year or more before you file with the Secretary of State, before you apply for your EIN number, before you apply for your DUNS number, because you don't want to have to be consistently changing these things. And with human error being what it is, you may have a situation where the changed information or altered information is entered wrong, and now you're spending a lot of extra time cleaning up what could have been done properly in the beginning. So just something I like to share. When you're choosing your business address and telephone number, I recommend that you stay away from using your home address and definitely stay away from using your cell number. And I don't even recommend that you try or use a Google number as concerning your business. I recommend that if you don't have an actual brick and mortar building that you can use as your business address, then you consider doing a virtual address. And with a virtual address, you'll have the ability to not only receive mail there, but you'll have a professional address with a suite number. And if they were to do a Google search, they would see an actual brick and mortar building that pops up, and not a UPS store, but an actual brick and mortar building that pops up and contributes to the legitimacy that we're creating surrounding your business, which is what we want. So we want to create an air of legitimacy. We want to show that we are a real business and not, working out of our garage or our living room, but we have the ability to be in a brick and mortar establishment. So the virtual office will give us that I don't want to say facade, but it'll give us what we need to show that we are up and running, that we are legitimate, and that we are in an actual place.